Hi, David here, and today we're going to talk about what is Next.js and what is it good for. And the first question we're really going to be asking is what is it good for? And in particular, it's good for this thing here, it's good for this thing here. This is the website that I developed using Next.js for a partnership we had between my company, EchoTree, and H&M. And Next.js was a particularly good fit for this project, and I'll explain why later. And before we go any further, I'd just like to present myself. My name is David, and for me, coding is fun. Coding is a game. It's a game of construction, it's a game of logic, it's a game of exploration, and even though this website here was a lot of work, it was a lot of fun too. And that's something I'd love to share, and I love to share this passion for learning, for code, and to help people become better people and better developers. Right, moving on. The reasons why we chose this is basically because Next.js supports server-side rendering, which means it also supports static pre-rendered files, and this is good for SEO, and it's good for doing serverless with React. And I like React for different reasons I've mentioned in a previous video. But these four reasons basically are features of Next.js, which were the reasons why I chose it for this specific project. Which brings us back to the next question, or the previous question, whatever. What is Next.js? And to answer that question, we basically need to start by answering the question, how does React work? What happens when you connect to a React application is your navigator sends up a request to the server saying, please, can I have the page? The server then sends back the HTML that contains JavaScript. And then the browser reads the JavaScript, interprets it, and renders HTML from the JavaScript. So that's the basic behavior of React. And the good thing about React is that it means that we have a fluid experience. Once the page is loaded, then you don't get the page load when you change pages. Because the rendering is being done on the browser, it makes for a lot more fluid experience once the page has been downloaded, once the JavaScript has been interpreted. This is not quite how Next.js works. In Next.js, what happens is when you request the page from the server actually does the rendering of the HTML using the JavaScript, using the same code, and it sends the page directly to the client, to the browser, which doesn't need to interpret it, so it shows it directly to the user accessing the page. What's the point of that? Well, it means that the initial load is a lot faster. It means that when you access the page, you see it a lot faster. So it's a lot better of first user experience. And also, it also means that other people or other companies, like Google, for example, sees the page a lot easier, which means it's a lot better for search engine optimization, SEO. The fact that the page loads faster is good for the UX user experience, but that also means it's good for the search engine optimization too, for the SEO. And the fact that we can generate static HTML makes for cheaper hosting. And all these things combined make Next.js a great solution. But wait, isn't server-side rendering precisely what PHP has been doing for the last 20 years, since the last century, the last millennium even? Yeah, that's true, but there's a difference. Next.js has the first page load, which is done server-side, like PHP, but following page loads, once the page has been downloaded, are done like React does them. So we get the best of both worlds. We get the advantages of server-side rendering, of PHP-type rendering, and we also get the advantages of single-page applications like React. which means that we have a complete good experience from the first load to the next ones, which makes Next.js such a fun framework to work with because it provides a great user experience, and the coding experience is actually very good as well. Because everything is done in this way, everything reloads fast, and the whole developer experience is also really good. That brings to an end my discussion of Next.js. I hope it was useful to you. If it was, feel free to subscribe. We'll be having more videos coming up of various ways to use Next.js. We'll be going through different steps that we use to implement the website I mentioned earlier. So if you want to keep up with this news, feel free to subscribe, click that notification bell, and please like the video too.